Hello everybody, I'm Sorita DSD and I'm the founder of the Covenant of Hekate. And in this recording, I'm going to talk a little bit about the role of a torchbearer. This role basically came about right from the beginning of the start of the Covenant of Hekate. Now, the Covenant of Hekate itself came out of the Rite of Her Sacred Fires, which I wrote and which happened earlier that year in May at the full moon. Like, it continues on every full moon of May since, and hopefully into the future, as a rite of devotion to Hekate, but also a rite that has shown itself to bring people from around the world together, to network devotees of all kinds of traditions, regardless of geography, culture, language, etc. Since the start of the Covenant of Hekate in November 2010, the role of torchbearer has grown and evolved with each new member and each new torchbearer that's taken on that role. Right at the beginning, when I founded the Covenant, I invited many of the contributors to the Hekate Her Sacred Fires anthology project to join me and to start off as torchbearers for the Covenant. I didn't have an idea of how things would pan out or how it would evolve over the years that followed and presumably into the future. So I've made myself some notes because so many things have happened since, and I don't normally talk with notes, but I don't want to miss out anything that I feel is important. So I spent a little bit of time making some notes. So the Covenant originally was for people just to share work and to kind of work together using what was then quite a new media of social media and Facebook in particular, where people could come together in kind of dedicated spaces online to share their ideas, to share their work, and to create community projects together. And the torchbearers evolved out of this first group of people I invited, and subsequent people that felt that they firstly had the knowledge and experience necessary to help others and guide others on their journey, but also to lead some of those projects, those creative projects. And there's been so many of them. And in many ways, those projects, it's not about the material they created, but the community they created, the connections between people that came together as a result of working on those projects, and subsequently also the founding of various sanctuaries, which are both online and physical spaces around the world, facilitated by torchbearers, where other people can also meet and join, maybe in a more local way or based on language or something else, a shared interest in the case of some of the online sanctuaries. And the Covenant wouldn't exist without people that have given their time, because there's completely, there's no money involved. We don't pay membership fees. So it's not like anybody is being paid to do this work. People do this work out of devotion and because they understand the need people have in this world that we live in for community and for sharing, and also the importance of sharing our experiences and our knowledge with one another. So by the kind of time that we created the 5 virtues, there were already people serving as torchbearers, and they kind of emerged, I guess, organically as a service-focused leadership, not a kind of hierarchy, but really rooted in the service that they can provide through their own experiences and knowledge. And also as a way, you know, I find as somebody that's been taught and worked in different traditions and has been a teacher and a priestess, not just in the Covenant, but in other traditions as well, that by teaching and facilitating things, we ourselves learn a lot. So I think everybody that's been a torchbearer and that's actively shared their knowledge and experience will find that they themselves learn as much from facilitating things and sharing their knowledge with others as those that learn from them. So it's very much a service-based role. So in the Covenant of Hekate, a torchbearer is therefore somebody that tends and offers light at the threshold. It's people that are willing to provide those insights, that are providing information and sharing their skills and knowledge. And this idea of a torchbearer for me kind of harkens back to the mystery traditions where torches often were used by those leading people into the mysteries. And that's also, of course, Hecate's role as a torchbearer in the Lycian mysteries. She leads Demeter with her torch to go and see Helios, but she also uses her torch to lead Persephone on her yearly journey to and from Hades. And there are other torchbearers in those mysteries that provide the same role. It's the kind of role of a psychopomp, the role of somebody that helps and facilitates an entrance into the mysteries for others. It's a really, really important role. It's something that I feel reflects as people that are not gatekeepers in the kind of negative sense, but rather custodians of a tradition, custodians of knowledge that are there to lead people over the thresholds when they are ready and when they are seeking it in a safe way, because it's based on pre-existing knowledge and experience. In the same way, of course, that Hekate holds a steady flame for people that seek her mysteries, and she is the ultimate torchbearer. So another level to being a torchbearer, of course, is trying to incorporate the qualities and virtues of Hekate in our own work and in the service that we provide for the community. Now, this service is rooted in devotion rather than ambition. And I'm going to say that again. The service of a torchbearer is rooted in absolute devotion, not ambition. The torchbearer's light is kindled within in the first instance, and that comes only through prayer, devotion, study, offerings, and ethical practices. That's when your own light can be lit in a way that you can then pass on those flames to future torchbearers. And it's only when it's extended outwards, I think, in hospitality and in love and devotion that it really works. That's the way of the old initiatory languages. Light is not just a brightness, but it is an understanding that we need to have. It's a quiet recognition of the patterns of ritual and of life, the causes and the consequences of living in this cosmos of ours and living a magical life in particular. So to bear a torch for me is to commit to a discipline of perception, to cultivate the capacity and to see the threads that bind beings together, all living beings, not just devotees of Hekate. And it's also to act in ways that preserve harmony at the crossroads where lives meet, where different souls and people meet. There's a very important side to that. There's a responsibility that comes with that. And I think that the mysteries and our imagination when it comes to kind of engaging with the mysteries teach that the soul journeys through different veils, remembering itself by degrees. In the Lycian mysteries, that passage is also there by guidance, not by force. So no torchbearer can make things happen for a devotee or for a seeker. A torchbearer can merely provide guidance and allow devotees or those seeking her mysteries to find their way. By shining that light, things are revealed, but the devotee or the seeker still needs to see that. And of course, torchbearers can be torchbearers for one another as well. It's not a hierarchy. We are all always searching and learning and deepening our understanding and our knowledge. And that comes from kind of learning from one another as well. So the torch marks boundaries as well. And of course, boundaries are very important for those of us exploring Hekate. We know that she's the goddess of thresholds, of gateways, and of the liminal in general. So, torches can help us cross that in a safe way, providing encouragement whilst allowing every soul, every devotee to step forward with their own insight. Again, it's not the force. We can't force people to see things our way. We can merely shine light and invite you to continue forward. So it's a great responsibility, but it's also a fantastic way of learning and connecting with other people. I think that a torchbearer is, in the Covenant of Hekate at least, is to become a torchbearer is to accept a trust that the other torchbearers and keybearers are putting in you, a trust that you will pay forward that which has been given to you, the doorways that's been opened to you, the gateways that's been opened to you. It's a really important and essential role, and it's an important one to, I think, go with and ensure that others also have those abilities and resources that you had, and maybe more, because with each generation things should get better. So yes, that for me is what a torchbearer is in the Covenant of Hekate. Of course, torchbearers can also facilitate sanctuaries and do all kinds of other activities without needing to necessarily team up with other people, but that kind of ability to connect with other people, I think, and to help and shine light, for me at least, is the most important thing. And as I said in the Rite of Her Sacred Fires, and as I wrote previously, and it's a line that came through in an oracle in the early noughties, the torchbearers and the keybearers of the mysteries will always find one another. For me, it's a calling, it's something that comes from devotion. And again, devotion, service, not ambition. I hope that that's been insightful. At least that's my take on it. And I'm sure some of the other torchbearers will have slightly different perspectives on this. And, you know, I hope that if you decide to take on the role of a torchbearer, that you will be able to, when the time is right for you, and when you're able to shine light for others and to support and help them on their journey. Bye bye.